What's up, peeps? Welcome to another edition of Hip Hop Head. My name is Julian Williams. In this video, I'm going to talk about the return of hip hop cliques or hip hop labels. Pretty much, hip hop labels have been a big staple in hip hop ever since the incarnation of hip hop, ever since hip hop became its own entity back in the 70s. You know, we had Sugar Hill Records, we had Cold Chillin' Records, and then it became more evident and more popular in the early to mid 90s. You had Loud Records. When they had, Loud Records was kind of, its label of its own, like its own hip-hop label. But first you had Def Jam. Of course, Def Jam was the first label when you had LL Cool J and the Beastie Boys. I think Run DMC was managed by, Def Jam, by like Russell Simmons and Rick Rubin. But hip-hop labels have been just the main staple and component of hip-hop since the beginning of its incarnation. And in early 2000, or even later than that, probably starting in maybe the mid-90s, with the Bad Boy Records and Death Row Records, hip-hop labels have been, the biggest part of marketability for a rapper since 95 with Death Row and Bad Boy, and even Loud. Loud was kind of the independent, like the independent route at the time, because they had Mobb Deep. I believe they had Wu-Tang, if I'm not mistaken. But they had, a lot of rappers out of New York and Loud Records. And then Bad Boy, of course, had Craig Mack, Notorious B.I.G. They had R&B acts like Faith Evans and Total, The Lox, so forth and so on. Money, Power, Respect, is still considered a classic to me. I love that album. And Def Jam was still kind of an independent label. Was just the main staple of hip hop. In the 90s with Redman, when they had Redman, they had, I think EPMD was a part of Def Jam at one time. I'm not too sure about that statement, so don't quote me on that all too much. But I think EPMD was on the label. Def Squad. There was also LL. LL was still on the label, and also a few of the smaller independent artists were on the label, because I believe that Dresta, the dude that was Dresta, and I forgot the other dude's name that he used to rhyme with when they were on like Eazy-E's, when they were hanging out, when they were with Eazy-E, they were their own entity. Ruthless Records in '95, had Bone Thugs and Harmony and Eazy-E, but also they had Dresta, and I can't think of the other dude's name, because I know they were managed by Eazy-E at one time. They were on real motherfucking G's. Death Row had the Dogg Pound, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Tupac. It was just like back in the day, the record label you were with, was your main marketability, and that brought credibility to an artist. Was the record label that they were with. And then towards the late 90s, it gravitated to a different level, because artists like DMX, Method Man, Redman, LL, all these guys, Jay-Z, Ja Rule, all these guys are selling these albums, being on these huge record labels and getting all this promotion, being on a huge record label. And then while the guys that were on the independents weren't selling much, they were still getting, their following. That's when albums would go, gold after maybe a couple months, compared to like 4 to 5 months these days. So now it seems as if there's kind of a return of record labels. That's bringing marketability to artists. Busta Rhymes has just signed the Cash Money, Young Money records. Is that going to do anything for him? Busta Rhymes has been on numerous labels, numerous powerhouses, J Records, Aftermath, and now he's going to be on Cash Money. Is that going to do anything for his career? Probably not. He's probably going to get money. He's probably going to be a pretty good ghostwriter for the label. But it doesn't do anything for his career. More than likely, Busta Rhymes, even though he's been doing guest appearances, he's more than likely still not going to go gold. And then you got Maybach Music Group, MMG. This label went out and they signed 4 independent rappers: Stally, Pill, Meek Mill, and Wale, who was on a major label. But these guys had great internet followings. And MMG, I think, is going to be that label to where people are going to look toward, are going to gravitate towards. A lot of people are going to buy MMG albums. They just had a top 10 album with their Self-Made Volume 1. Just because, you have 3 different types of rappers with 3 different followings on the same album, on the same label. You got the South with Pill. You got the internet following with Wale. You got the East Coast with Pill. You got the Midwest with Stally. And just overall, MMG I think is gonna do well, and I think that they're gonna sign more artists. But MMG, they're signing artists that have pretty good internet-based followings. And then Shady Records did a hell of a job this year as well. Just with the 2 signings that Eminem did on Shady, Yellow Wolf and Slaughterhouse. Yellow Wolf has a great internet following. He has a very good following. Trunk Music was a great album. Arena Rap was a good album. And I think that Radioactive was a great album. And the thing with Yellow Wolf is releasing what he wants to release. He's not being condensed down to this corporatized bullshit that a lot of artists that have went from independent to major have been just made to do. He's releasing what he wants to release. He's releasing hip hop, and he's changing it. He's kind of changed his game, kind of that arena hip hop. So Yellow Wolf is doing I think even though he sold only 40K, I think he's doing a hell of a job under Shady Records and Slaughterhouse, and it's yet to be seen with them. But that was a great sign for Eminem getting Slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse because you got Royce the 5'9", Joe Budden, Joel Ortiz, Crooked Eye, guys from different coasts that represent different regions of the country. This is a great signing, and also this can bring Slaughterhouse to a different level, of course. And then you have Bad Meets Evil with Eminem and Royce the 5'9", the EP that went gold this year. So just with those 2 record labels alone, these are top albums. These are top flight albums that are coming out. And also, Bad Boy is trying to get in the mix. They signed Machine Gun. P. Diddy signed Machine Gun Kelly, guy with an internet following. Big Crit is on the Def Jam. I really enjoy another artist by the name of Dom Kennedy. I'm waiting to see what clique he signs to. But a lot of people are talking about Young Money. Young Money has a lot of young talented artists. They got Tyga, they got Drake, they got Nicki Minaj. They now have Busta Rhymes. T-Pain will be on the label very soon. And don't ask me to do a T-Pain review because I'm sure as hell not going to do one because I hate T-Pain. I really refer to T-Pain as T-Pain in the ass because he has no talent at all. He can't write, he can't sing, he can't rap, he can't do really much of anything without his auto-tune. So that's that. But just overall, Young Money, Cash Money Records, they've done the best in terms of sales. And they're continuously signing guys. They got Gutta Gutta. They got Short Dog. Short Dog I think Short Dog is pretty good, but I don't think Short Dog's ever going to come out. Tiger's pretty good. Tiger's pretty good in terms of lyrics. He's varied up his style quite a bit since No Introduction. He's changed it up on the mixtapes, so he's getting better. He's improving. But you got your 3 artists on Young Money. You got Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, and Drake, and they all have different followings. Drake has that internet crowd, internet young teenagers. Nicki Minaj has that pop crowd, young females. This, that, and the third, and Lil Wayne has teenagers in general. So they all have different levels of success, and they all are attracting different people to buy their music. So of course they're gonna sell the most. So out of all these cliques, who's the best clique? I'm definitely gonna go with Shady Records with the best clique. Joe Budden is a great lyricist with Slaughterhouse. Royce the 5'9" is great with wordplay. Joel Ortiz is a great rapper. Crooked Eye, very grimy, puts his rhymes together very well. And then you got Yellow Wolf, who has changed up his style a little bit and shown the versatility on his records. So I'll go with Shady Records to being the best out of all of them, but MMG being the close second. So anyway, peeps, I'm out of here. Hip Hop Head, let me know what you think. Peace.